This is Invest Now America, and I'm your host. I'm going to do something I rarely do, and that is give a response, a direct response to somebody who had said something to me about a response I had to a post put out by Adam Schiff. And basically what I said, what Schiff said was that all these people spending billions of dollars going to space, they should instead spend those billions of dollars on lifting young people out of poverty. Typical emotionalism when trying to advocate a policy and action that has been proven to be totally and completely ineffective. Time and time and time again over the decades, it's been proven that stealing from the rich and giving to the poor is a policy that does not work. As a matter of fact, it's a policy that's destructive, not only for the rich, but for the poor. It does no one any good, except for the government bureaucrats, who will rake off their little amount of money to justify their comfortable living in their power and their control. So this person, I'm only going to give her first name out of respect for her privacy. Jessica responded. She gave me 3 responses. And I'm going to go through each response point by point. Point by point. I think it's really important is that I'm just going to go through it point by point. And I'm not going to do it all in one podcast. So just consider this part 1. Okay, so she names me, Corbin Sievers. You forget some very important things. Education is not accessible to all at even remotely the same level, especially beyond high school. And my response to that is, I don't think she meant it that way. I really don't. Because let's look at that again. Education is not accessible to all at even the remotely same level, especially beyond high school. Well, there is a little thing called free public education. And as far as I know, that's in all of the states in the United States of America. Now, if she's talking about the quality of public education is not the same all throughout the United States, okay. I mean, she's got an argument there. I get that. But to say it's not accessible, education is not accessible to all at even remotely the same level, especially beyond high school. Now, let's look at beyond high school. Well, that's just not true. We have the opportunity to pursue education beyond high school. We have the opportunity to pursue, specialized training, vocational training, business training beyond high school. It's there. Now, whether or not people choose to search for it and take advantage of it, whether or not people choose to seek out those opportunities and take advantage of those opportunities, I'm sorry, that's up to them. But it's there. And to say it's not there, it's wrong. I know here in Louisville, Kentucky, you can go for plumbing, training, welding, training, all sorts of this computer stuff, training. You can go to a community college. Heck, at the community college, they offer vocational school training. And at the community college, you can get a couple of years in and then transfer to somewhere like Simmons University or University of Louisville or Bellarmine University, or go outside the city. So I really don't think, just to give her some credit, I really don't think she quite meant what she said. Maybe she meant to say, hey, furthering your education beyond high school is expensive, and therefore people who are lower income can't obtain it. Money's a problem. Well, and even there I would say, well, that's not quite true. But here's one thing I will say. Look, if you don't have the resources, you have to become resourceful. Tony Robbins said that. That's a Tony Robbins quote, and he's 100% correct. If you don't have the resources, you're going to have to become resourceful. Period. So if you're complaining that, hey, I don't have the money to further my education beyond high school, let me recommend a good book for you. Debt-Free You. How I Paid for an Outstanding College Education Without Loans, Scholarships, or Mooching Off My Parents. And it's a guy named Zach, last name spelled Bissonnette. You got to pursue it, man. You got to go after it. It's not to be given to you. Education is not to be given to you. You have to go after it. And here in the United States of America, to say education is not accessible at all is not correct. Just not accurate. The evidence is just not accurate. And to talk about especially beyond high school, that's definitely not correct. That's definitely not accurate. You kidding me? There are some companies, they're actually forming partnerships with community colleges and universities because they're saying flat out, man, we need workers, and we don't have the trained workers. We gotta resolve this issue. I one time went to Greater Louisville Institute, and I went there to talk to them. I was working for a local HBCU, and I had to go pick up some information. Of course, I got to talking to a guy, and he was saying to me, hey, do you know why the one issue companies bring up as far as relocating to Louisville is concerned? It had nothing to do with cost of living, had nothing to do with taxes. You know what it was? We lack a pool of educated workers. We lack a pool of educated workers. If we had a greater pool of educated workers, we would, these companies said, man, we'd love to go to Louisville. Simmons University, that was one of the arguments they made. Hey, support us because we need a greater pool of educated workers here in the city of Louisville in the Commonwealth of Kentucky. So from that point, they did this special campaign and trying to increase the pool of educated workers in the city of Louisville in the Commonwealth of Kentucky. I don't know what you mean by, not accessible or anything like that. They're begging. They're begging for educated workers. The opportunity's there. You got to take it. All right, here's the second. You know what? I'm going to end this here and just make this part one. And I just like for people to really think about what I just said. And we'll get to part two later. This is Invest Now America. Look, go to Facebook and follow my page, Invest Now America.